Hi everyone, this is the Quds Day live broadcast. So, quick disclaimer to anyone watching this video. I'm about to be a pro-terrorism Palestinian activist going undercover as I'm going to go Cyrus Mogami from Press TV International. Just a few things before we start off, so you should know, Press TV is now banned in Europe because it's the CBC version of the Islamic Republic. So when I say I'm part of Press TV, Press TV has been banned because it broadcasts the forced confessions of tortured political prisoners. So I will be working for them. Fun fact for our Canadian viewers, Sacha Trudeau, Justin Trudeau's brother, used to make documentaries for Press TV. Also, Jeremy Corbyn used to be paid by Press TV too, for our friends over in the UK. So we're about to go into the rally. It hasn't really started yet, but I'm going to show you some things by switching it around. So you're going to notice a few things. So as you can see, number one, you see the yellow banner there, Liberate Al-Aqsa Mosque. Now, if you've been watching the show, or if you know a lot about the situation, you would know that one of the things Israel did that a lot of the Zionist side are unhappy with is the Al-Aqsa Mosque is actually fully under the control of the Islamic Waqf of Jordan. So the Islamic country of Jordan controls the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And one of the biggest lies of incitements to terrorism in the last 100 years has been the conspiracy theory around the Jews and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So the 1929 riots in Hebron, where hundreds of Jews were massacred in 1929. Now, people, if you're a Palestinian activist, I will have to explain to you. 1929 is actually before 1948. So I know you're really bad at math, but a lot of things. So I'm going to point something else. Also, I'm not sure if you can see it, but right beside the Liberate Al-Aqsa Mosque, you're going to see a man that is wearing a terrorist scarf, the keffiyeh. He's also waving the flag of the Islamic Republic of Iran. You're going to see a lot of Islamic Republic flags at this rally. Now, anyone who knows anything knows that this Al-Quds Day was started by the mullahs in Iran. I already see a couple of Islamic Republic flags. Now, you might say, what does the Islamic Republic even have to do with any of this conflict? Well, the Islamic Republic, they are the chief financiers of Hamas, Hezbollah, and Islamic Jihad. So here's a few things. There's a heavy police presence here to keep the peace. It's Canada, so things will probably be peaceful. But the music you're hearing is from the Israeli side, which actually has a permit to be here to counter-protest. Now, as you can see, there's a sound system in this car I'm showing you right here, the white truck. There's another man setting up a sound system in that truck. Now, this does not have a permit, this Al-Quds Day parade. Both the mayor and the premier said it shouldn't happen. So this is technically an illegal protest, but you have the right to assemble. But once they start blaring the music, then there is a very good case that the police should step in. They will not step in and stop this, but that's just going to happen. So as you can see, there's a lot of Palestinian flags. And there's flags of the Islamic Republic of Iran. So, as you say, the Al-Quds, Al-Aqsa Mosque thing, that is, of course, the Dome of the Rock, or the Temple Mount, the holiest place in Judaism, the third holiest place in Islam, and it is currently under the control of the Islamic Waqf of Jordan. So when they say liberate the Al-Aqsa Mosque, this is the number one slanderous lie that the terrorists tend to use to justify suicide bombings for an Islamic cause. So I'm going to walk across the street because jaywalking is probably the least illegal thing you're going to see today. And we'll just get in. And remember, the other thing is people are being bussed in from all over the GTA for this protest. If you even go to the Al-Quds Day homepage, they talk about bussing people in. So from all over, including Thorncliffe Mosque. That was the mosque of the Danforth shooter, where there's been numerous anti-Semitic, anti-Christian, anti-Canadian, pro-Sharia things. So you're going to see some kids here, people, got a guy praying. So here begins the Press TV coverage of Al-Quds Day 2019. So there's a picture of a medic who was killed during the protests along the Gaza border. boycott. Here's the Nayuta Kari, who come to all these events. Canadians Against Zionism, ISIS, and the IDF.
Oh, you're back again.
Yes.
Ah, I recognize you.
How you doing?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
You're always infiltrating, aren't you?
Move from this stage over there.
On the stage. Let's go. Come on. How'd you go? Maybe you should go on the other side.
Alright, we'll see how long we can do this.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Alright, so now that they're using speaker system, technically the police should step in. Alright, that didn't work too well. So as you saw, I was shut down pretty early in that one. Last time I did one of these, I got that guy to admit to well, that guy last time he was at a he showed up to the Jewish community to protest the concept of Israel. So the guy who figured me out. Last time I was also from Press TV. He was very impressed with my terrorist credentials. So when I asked him a couple. What did I ask him? Yeah, so I asked him stuff like he was saying Israel illegally occupies. Then I asked him some stuff, and I tripped him up over why he didn't care about Palestinians in Jordan or Saudi Arabia. And I asked him some hard questions posed as a pro-Palestinian activist that he was not able to answer. So here we go. Let's. I just got something to show you. So there we go. We got a guy here with an Islamic Republic of Iran flag. So you might say, like, okay, free Palestine, that's great. Israel's evil, death to the Jews and all that good stuff that we remember on Al-Quds Day. But why does this guy have a flag of the Islamic Republic of Iran? You know, why are there Iranian flags flying here? Let's get the flag in, right? So here we have the Islamic Republic flag. So remember, we have tons of Islamic Republic stuff, and they're protesting apartheid in Israel, of course, because if you footage from here, you saw that nearly 500,000 Muslims in Jerusalem prayed during Ramadan in apartheid Israel. But I see a bunch of Islamic Republic of Iran flags flying. Fun fact, the Islamic Republic of Iran, it is illegal to be Baha'i. So Baha'i is a sort of a derivative religion of Islam. It's much more peaceful, has a non-violence tendency to it. But if you practice Baha'ism in Iran, that's illegal. So there are people currently on death row in Iran for practicing the religion of Baha'i, and you have people here waving that flag, not the Iranian flag with the lion in it. You have it with the Allah sign. I can currently see 2 Islamic Republic flags flying right now. And oh, I saw one Lebanese flag. So the reason that you're gonna see a Lebanese flag, Lebanon is where Hezbollah is based. So there's a lot of support for basically all the Iranian proxies. Hezbollah is a terrorist organization. Hassan Nasrallah has declared that he wants to hunt down all the Jews in the world. Now you hear the Israeli music. They're going pretty loud. They're trying to drown out this protest. But you also have the Palestinian side blasting music. And as I said, if this does not have a permit, so they technically have the right to gather and hold signs. This is Canada, right? I believe the Ku Klux Klan has a right to rally. You can be part of the Ku Klux Klan, we should just all disown you. So here we have a bunch of Ku Klux Klan members rallying, but they don't have a permit. So they actually don't have in Canada, they do not have permission for the stage and the sound system. However, this is allowed to go on because of political correctness. And as you can see, all the Canadians from Thorncliffe Mosque, the home of the Danforth shooter, are here. So let's just get some more footage of these very proud Canadians. Maybe Trudeau will shut this. So they all seem to be wearing yellow vests. Maybe, as we've learned from Bernie Farber and co., the yellow vest is a neo-Nazi sign. So clearly some Nazis, right? Isn't that what we learned? So here we have, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. Here we got the Palestinian and Venezuelan flags. Okay, we know Venezuela supports Al-Quds Day. Thank you, Venezuela. The thriving economy and democracy of Venezuela is on Team Al-Quds Day. Of a Palestinian being silenced by Israel and America through the accusations of anti-Semitism. Linda Sarsour would be proud. Thank you everyone for your well wishes. So there's a Lebanese flag. So we have signs comparing Israel to the Holocaust. There's another Iranian flag. All right, so let's do a recap. Oh wait, we got a good shot here. So here we have them displaying the flag of the Islamic Republic of Iran. As you can see, long live the Islamic Republic. All right, so we know where they stand on that issue. All right, so here we have people supporting the Islamic Republic of Iran. We also have people supporting Venezuela and Lebanon here. So that is an interesting concoction of love and peace. Now, there is video, and I'm going to post it on the Facebook page. And when I get home, I'm going to post a video on the chat of a invited speaker to Al-Quds Day. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. Al-Quds Day Toronto. It's Kevin Barrett, I believe is his name. And if you want to go to YouTube now and just look it up, you can check it there. Al-Quds Day Toronto, Holocaust Denial. One of the invited speakers to Al-Quds Day a few years ago was a noted Holocaust denier, and there's a whole speech where he goes on to deny the Holocaust, accuse Israel of doing 9/11 and all that. So when people usually do that, we see it's oh wait, I'm going to show you something. Here's people being bussed into Al-Quds Day. So here's people getting off the bus. Right, who's paying for this? Right? Where's the money coming from for Al-Quds Day? As you see, right, there's people getting in and on the bus, right, bus straight downtown. We know some of these buses are coming from Thorncliffe Park. That is the home of the Danforth shooter, right? We have a bunch of Canadians getting off this bus wearing their traditional garb of Canada, which is a bag over your head. Right? So here we have a whole busloads of Canadians. Oh, there's a child wearing a bag over her head. How cute. Right? Oh, more hijabs. Is it? Yep. Whole thing of children and women wearing the traditional clothing of I believe this is hockey equipment, right? It's a protective thing to. Oh, here we have Here we have someone with an Antifa patch, so it just adds to the ambiance of what's going on here. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my conclusions here. So, I see someone with an anarchist, anti-fascist Antifa. So, Antifa guy is here, Venezuela is here, Thorncliffe Park, which is the mosque that gives you the death to the Jews, death to Christians. Don't worry, Christians, death to you also. We wouldn't want you to feel out. So they're being bussed in here, as you can see. All these Canadians being bussed in for clearly Canadian purposes. So this is one of the bigger marches in the city. So it might get to about 1,000 people here. And as I said, they have invited people here to openly deny the Holocaust. This organization has played music advocating for another Holocaust. So as I said, this is a march that consistently oscillates between Holocaust denial and Holocaust enthusiasm. And, you know, there's going to be thousands of people here. It is not sanctioned by the city. It is not sanctioned by the province. And they have set up a stage, they have set up speakers, so you do have the right to wave flags, hold banners anytime you want, but you set up a stage and speakers, that's when the police should say, no, you shouldn't be doing this, you don't have a permit. But this is one of those, hey, where's the people screaming about Nazism here, right? Because people throw on yellow vests, right, and they advocate for Canadian independence. They say, hey, we don't trust the UN. We want oil flowing from Canada to Canada. Build the pipelines. And people putting on yellow vests saying build pipelines are slammed as Nazis. Now, people putting on yellow vests and saying destroy the Jewish state, eliminate Israel, you know, Holocaust was an inside job, or Holocaust never happened, or Holocaust is great. This is social justice. So this is one of those things. So let's go to another look. Right here we have people coming in off the bus. So there's a sign about a medic. So the medic was killed during the riots on Gaza. And so that guy just took a photo of me. This is one of the Quds they organized. He took a photo of me, so I've now made it on now made it on the list. I'm on the persona non grata list, but I was already busted when I went in, so I wanted to get you guys I wanted to get them cheering. I only got 2 people to say long live the Islamic Republic, but it's one of those things, you know, there's a hardcore group of 10, 20 hardcore Palestinian activists in Toronto, and I'm already flagged by them. It is what it is. So, for joining you, we got Lebanon here, we got Venezuela here, we got the Islamic Republic of Iran here, all the types of governments that open fire on their own people, that practice legitimate apartheid. And again, we have a whole committee bussing people in. Ariel's asking, should we call the police? The police are already here, guys. The police are here, they're doing nothing. Right? Why do we need to call the police? Right? Look at them. There's tons of police cars across the street. There's like hundreds of police officers here. Alright, let's do another run through. Let's go through. Let's see what we can see. So we got some Iranian flags here. We got some propaganda. Oh, and the medic killed in the protest. There is a video of her throwing a smoke bomb, her being on the front lines, and her actively participating in the riots. So when you throw smoke bombs and shoot at soldiers, you know, expect something. That is the organizer of the whole march, Dmitry Liskevich. That is the guy who organized the whole thing, supposedly. So some anti-colonialism signs. A quote that Albert Einstein never say.
Like the same number as we were with the...
Hi, excuse me. What media are you with?
Press TV.
Can I see your badge?
No.
Why not? If you would like to not photograph people, it would be great for you to be able to get it.
Do you have a permit to hold this march?
Yeah, actually. If you can please, thank you.
So you're from CUP, the union, the Canadian unions.
Can you please
So does the union support Hamas? So I'm, as we see, got physically pushed out, physically pushed there by the unions. CUP, do you support violence?
No, we don't. Please leave. We don't want you guys to photograph me.
So CUPE Ontario, here at our pro-terrorism march, do you support the Islamic Republic of Iran?
Please leave. We don't support anything. We're here for solidarity for Palestine.
All right. Well, fun while it lasted. There we go. So you saw I was just physically removed by the union's CUPE, which is one of the largest unions in Canada, which let's talk about. Do you have the right to opt out of union contracts? So if you're in a union, you might be supporting this terrorist march. You might be supporting Venezuela. You might be supporting the Islamic Republic of Iran. Right? So again, I was physically removed by the unions. And this is bullshit. Because how do unions just get to say, because a couple of union heads, this is the Red-Green Alliance. Because a couple of lefties and communists, they support, of course, the anti-freedom side, right? So you have people who are holding a march that does not have a permit. You have them with unions that you pay union dues to, with flags of regimes that actually are apartheid, right? So it's a stupid term, but, right, the Islamic Republic of Iran, it's illegal to be Baha'i. Talk about the life of what a Sunni goes through in Sunni Islam in the Islamic Republic of Iran, right? Christians have been kicked out. Jews are almost non-existent there again, right? Part of the Islamic Republic of Iran's policy is to support terrorist movements around the globe. So I was physically removed by a union member, CUPE, you can see her, and on video she is physically pushing me out of there, right? So how is this allowed to go on? And the reason it's allowed to go on is because the left is too afraid to say anything about it, right? This is an organization that is invited, not just a Holocaust denier showed up and said some things. A known Holocaust denier, someone who preaches that Israel did 9/11, has been an invited speaker to this event in the past. No one says anything, right? No one will ever criticize this in the mainstream media, right? Will you ever see the Toronto Star say, anti-Semitic march, thousands show up, right? We see people being bussed in. Union heads are physically removing people they disagree with, right? They don't have a permit. They're still blasting music. The police are right there. They're doing nothing, right? So you're paying union dues. It's going to support an Islamic Republic of Iran agenda. Now, the Islamic Republic of Iran's agenda on the West, open opinions on Western civilization from the organizers of this march, destroy it. It's in the, so Iran's, the IRGC, which has just been declared a terrorist organization by the Trump administration, they're obviously funding this. Oh, here we have another bus coming in. Another bus full of Canadians, right? Another bus. Who's paying, like, buses chartered, this is like hundreds of dollars per bus to bring them in, right? Here's another bus pulling up of proud Canadians who clearly only support peace and love. go to the other side. Let's just walk through.
Yeah, of course.
As you see, no terrorist memorabilia or communist flags so far. So I managed to go through the Israeli side and managed to see not one sign for a communist or fascist dictatorship. Now, when I went through the other side, there was a lot more communist and fascist dictatorship sides. A lot more Israel responsible for the Holocaust. A lot more Holocaust denial / Palestine's the real Holocaust. And a lot of Israel's committing a genocide. Now, you can say a lot of things about Israel, but one thing Israel really is terrible at, and I think we can all agree, is genocide. Because the population in Gaza is increasing faster than the population in Israel. So, I'm not sure how that's a genocide, but according to the neo-Nazis on the other side, we got a big genocide going on here. Alright, so here we got a bus full of Canadians coming out. More Canadians, right? Because, you know, this is just a spontaneous event for freedom, right? Oh, look at, we got some Canadians. We got a guy who looks like Hassan Rouhani there. Basically, we got the Ayatollah of Peace right there. So just to recap, here's what we got so far. I went into the Al-Quds rally, and they're busing people in from all over Toronto. Some of these buses are coming from the Thorncliffe Mosque. That is the extremist mosque of the Danforth shooter and his parents. It is also a mosque that is openly called for jihad against the West, jihad against Jews and Christians. And here you have people being bussed in, right? Look at all these, you know, hockey fans coming in here, right? Fully dressed for game day. They're bringing their children, of course, because, you know, 5-year-old children have to protest Israel, right? That's what we do on the Sunday. We take them to this very, very complicated geopolitical protest. Now, when I say complicated, it's really not that complicated. As you can see, that is the pro-terrorism side, and in there I've seen flags for Lebanon. Now, I guarantee you they would be waving Hezbollah flags if they were allowed. But you see a bunch of flags of the Islamic Republic of Iran. I have seen flags for Venezuela there. I have seen signs of just baseless propaganda. All right, so now they're making speeches. Oh, just a second. Okay, so one of the things I just heard is there was just another terrorist attack by Israel. And what they are referring to is a 18-year-old Palestinian boy was killed by the Israeli army yesterday. Now, that boy was killed in the middle of stabbing 2 Israelis. So in the middle of stabbing 2 people, in the middle of trying to kill 2 people, he was shot by the IDF. So right now we are calling, or not we, the pro-Palestinian side is saying that it is a terrorist attack to stop a terrorist attack. They're also talking about, I guess other countries are complicit in the genocide. Now, I guess genocide doesn't mean anything anymore because the Canadian government just released a report saying, you know, missing Indigenous women is tantamount to a genocide now. Now, let's not get into that. I will say, we're not going to say there's no discrimination against the Indigenous here. That would be a ridiculous claim. But I think when genocides happen, you can't just say, oh, we had to hold a committee and we found that secret genocides happen. There is no such thing as secret genocides. So, oh, right there, we can see the only media here that isn't me is Brian, David Mendes from Rebel Media. He's currently being swarmed by Palestinian activists, so that's right there. People ask, is this in Toronto? Yes, it's in Toronto. Toronto is big fans of this neo-Nazi march. Now I'm waiting for the statement from Bernie Farber, who is head of anti-Semitism enablement in Canada. We also have a Golden State Warriors fan on that side. Of course, right? No one over there wants the Raptors to win. Heathens. So you can see. Sorry, the camera is not great. But yeah, they're swamping Rebel Media over there. Alright, I'm going to try and get a better angle so maybe I can see some of the... They seem very happy about something. Maybe they just heard that a school somewhere in Jerusalem blew up, so maybe they're very happy with that. Raptors fans on this side. Someone's asking if we could find out where those buses are from. You can actually go to the Facebook page for Quds State Toronto. It says where the buses are coming from, and one of the places the buses is coming from, again, is the Thorncliffe Mosque, the home of the Danforth shooter. That is where it comes in. We got more people coming in. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can get a better angle to better cover the Palestinian side. Because if you just joined us, I've already been kicked out of that. I've been kicked out of that thing twice. Once by Palestinian activists, then I went back in again, and I was physically pushed off by a union rep from CUPE. So that's one of the largest union reps in Canada. So if you're part of the CUP union, just know your union dues are going on to help pay for this terrorist bonanza. So here we have I'm just going to try and get back to this sort of neutral ground as a good place to film. And again, all right, let's show you. So people think, where are the police? This shouldn't be happening, right? Because they don't have a permit. They set up a stage. They're using speaker systems. Technically, this is a disturbance of the peace because this did not get a permit from the city or the province. Or if it did, then John Tory and Doug Ford lied to us when they said they wouldn't let this go on. So let's get into the terrorist rally. So again, I was actually physically removed by a CUP rep, right? We got it on camera. I was physically pushed out of the rally by a union rep. What is the CUP union doing backing, you're not, like, taking, backing an organization that is anti-Canadian? Well, they're a union, so that's what it is. So here we have a big yellow banner. The big yellow banner that's been here from the beginning. This is Liberate Al-Aqsa Mosque. Now, if you've been for the whole time, I broke this down as the first thing. But just again, this is the #1 anti-Semitic lie used by terrorist organizations. And you can tell this is an extremist march because it has this sign. And the reason I say that is when we talk about the Al-Aqsa Mosque, this is also called the Temple Mount. It's where the Dome of the Rock is. It's the holiest site in Judaism, third holiest site in Islam. Now, when Israel took control of Jerusalem, or the old city, during the 67 war, the Six-Day War, what they did is they actually ceded control of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The holiest place in Judaism, the Temple Mount, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Dome of the Rock, is actually controlled by the Islamic Wafik of Jordan. So Jordan, the Islamic country, controls, its religious sect controls the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So when they say liberate the Al-Aqsa Mosque, right, what are they talking about? Are they saying liberate from Jordan? Obviously not. They're saying it's liberated from Israel, which is a complete fallacy. Okay, so here they're talking about the Zionism is Judaism, Zionism is not Judaism, this whole lie. Now, Zionism is the Jewish people's right to self-determination in the land of Israel. So Israeli nationalism, right? Self-determination would just be nationalism. So Zionism is just nationalism from an Israeli point, right? You can change the words. Canadianism technically means Canadian nationalism, but we don't have a special word for it because it didn't really need it. We can talk about the history later, but it's not important. Now, the covenant in Judaism, right? I'm going to be a bit crass here, but the basic tenet of Judaism is pretty much cut off the tip of your penis, you get to live in Israel, right? That's the promise that that God made to Abraham, right? It's in chapter 1 of the whole Bible, right? And then the blessing goes down to Isaac and then Jacob, right? That's the whole thing, right? The circumcision is the symbol of the covenant, which is follow my laws, cut off the tip of your penis, you get to live in Israel. So, Jerusalem is central to the Jewish religion. There are 3 holidays a year, Passover, Sukkot, Shavuot, where you're supposed to go to the temple in Jerusalem. It specifically says that. During Passover, one of the lines is Hashana Haba Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. So Zionism is actually quite coherent and a very big part of the Jewish religion. So they like to say it's not, and they get a pseudo-Jewish cult, the New Tarkari. They're here, there's 2 of them here, they're here at all these anti-Israel events. They're usually paid by Iran as well. They have been disavowed by Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox, conservative, and Reform rabbinate. So they have been excommunicated by all to Judaism, and they're the token Jews they use to sort of push that lie. So they've been discredited with false things to discredit their noble thing. Look up Quds Day Toronto Kevin Barrett Holocaust denial. He was an invited speaker, and you will see him deny the Holocaust. You will see him then say Israel did 9/11, and to raucous cheers from the crowd above. And never have they condemned that speech. Again, they invited him to say that. So who do we see? Right there we see the Palestinian flag right beside the Islamic Republic of Iran flag. Again, why is the Iranian flag so prominent in this rally? It's because the Iranian government has been sponsoring Quds Day all over the world. Just saying, you say, where are these buses coming from? Who's paying for it? The Quds Force. Canada is a home of money laundering for all different things. The Islamic Republic of Iran is one of the bigger ones. As you can see, this guy waving his Iran flag. Last year they were handing out t-shirts of both Ayatollah Khamenei and Khomeini. It was pretty funny, right? You see signs. There's a kid holding a sign saying Canadians against Zionism, ISIS, and the IDF. So this is another one of the lies they push, that, Israel is behind ISIS, because of course, ISIS has nothing to do with Islam. Nothing to do. The Islamic State in Iraq and Syria has nothing to do with Islam. Nothing Islamic about the Islamic State. It's a Jewish conspiracy, in fact, is what we're learning. So there's hundreds of people here. There might be thousands. This is one of the bigger events, and I was saying, there's people here wearing yellow vests denying the Holocaust. But where's Bernie Farber talking about this? Where's my boy Bernie? Where's the Farb daddy? Right? You got people with terrorist scarves covering their faces because, when you got a scarf over your face, you're the good guy. Right? I see 2 more Islamic Republic flags down there, right beside that Palestinian flag. Let's see if we can get it. So, of amazing stuff. Okay, here we go. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. So, all right. From the river to the sea. All right. All right, so here's the from the river to the sea thing. So this is a clearly genocidal phrase. And I've brought this up a lot. But here's the argument. What they mean from the river, they mean the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. That's where Palestine should be free. And what they mean is there's no Israel. And the reason I say this is because why doesn't Jordan count as Palestine? If you look at the original legal mandate for Palestine in 1922, right, the original mandate for Palestine includes the modern day countries of Israel and Jordan. Then in 1923, it was partitioned into East Palestine and West Palestine. So there already was a two-state solution. Now, East Palestine became Jordan, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, as it was originally called, in Palestine, and West Palestine eventually became Israel, and then it was tried to be divided again. So here we have this thing which says, you know, Jordan is in Palestine. Jordan's allowed to exist. Even though when Jordan was first created, all Jews in Jordan were immediately exiled. Currently in Jordan, it is illegal to sell land to a Jew. That is a capital crime. In Canada, you don't even get a capital punishment if you rape and kill 7 children. But in Jordan, if you sell land to a Jew, you are dead. Same thing in the Palestinian territories. So we say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Somehow Jordan is exempt from all this. Even though they've committed ethnic cleansing against the Jewish population, even though there was legal apartheid against the Jewish population there, even though they destroyed historic Jewish communities in there, right, that doesn't count. Right, that does not count. Right, it's only Israel. Right, as I've said, the only place what Palestine is, the only place Palestine exists, Palestine is always meant where the Jews are. And you see this. In 1964, when the PLO was founded, this is what is the Yasser Arafat's homies. This is what became Fatah, or the PA. When the PLO was founded, if you look at, I believe it's Article 25, I may be 20-something, I think 25. In Article of the original PLO, it specifically says the West Bank and Gaza are not part of Palestine. It specifically says that in their charter. And that is because at the time, Gaza was part of Egypt, and the West Bank was part of Jordan. So because it was under Islamic control, no one really cared. There was no talk about Palestinian independence there. The only Palestinian independence program was to have so-called Palestinians commit terrorist attacks in Israel to destroy Israel. So this is what you have to know, because as I said, this type of propaganda, this anti-Zionism propaganda, Zionism is racism, it's easily going to be turned into nationalism, and Canada is racism. Right? The second these people win, right? The second these people win, they're going to come for America next, and then all of Western civilization. Because you can see it in the flags. They're flying the flag of the Islamic Republic of Iran. A place that screams death to America. A place that screams death to Israel. Right? They're flying the Venezuelan flag. As we all know, Venezuela, a hub of democracy and economic prosperity. Right? So when they're allowed to say these lies, right? When they're allowed to say that, oh, Israel's committing genocide, even though Gaza's population is increasing faster than Israel's population, even though it's a genocide, right? And then we have the Venezuelan flag for no reason. We have the Lebanese flag because that's the home of Hezbollah, which is another Iranian proxy, which all these people are. I mean, and look at this rally. Do you think any of these people really love Western civilization? Do you think if we got down to it, this rally supports, you know, any of the fundamental tenets of Western civilization, like free speech when it's not for them, right? Liberal democracy, right? Equality between the sexes. People asking why are they allowing this to happen? It's because they are cowards. The police are there. This is not allowed to be happening. This has no permit. They're allowed to hold flags. They're allowed to assemble, but they're not allowed to set up speaker systems, and they're not allowed to set up a stage and do all this. They do not have a permit for this. This is technically a disturbance of the peace. There are hundreds of police officers here letting it happen. The reason is because it's just assumed they're Muslims, they hate Jews, Jews and Muslims don't get along, and we never really want to deal with it. That's the only reason it's happening. Right? Because if the Yellow Vests had an illegal rally where they called for the destruction of Lebanon, let's say, or they called for the destruction of any other state, do you think that would be allowed to happen? No. No, it wouldn't. right? From the river to the sea. The genocidal chant of the PLO, and again, the PLO who came up with the from the river to the sea chant, this is the same organization that says that the West Bank and Gaza are not part of Palestine, in their charter. People are saying cops are paid by Trudeau. Well, yes, they're paid by the federal government. They're not. The reason they're letting this happen is because politicians and police chiefs are just cowards. They're cowardice. It's not bribery. It's pure moral cowardice is the reason this is happening. Right? Propaganda, end the genocide. Again, genocide in a country or a spot in the world where the population is increasing quicker than the people supposedly committing the genocide. Now, one of the things, if you're going to commit a genocide, that you need to do to make it a genocide is decrease the population of the people is decreased. Now, when a population increases, that's usually a sign of there not being a genocide. That is my analysis there.
I should not say Netanyahu. Yahoo, you will see. Trump, you will see.
Oh, they're getting after Trump and Netanyahu. Oh, we're all scared.
You bring your Syrian law to Canada? Is that what you want? You guys are so upset over there. You have to bring your grief and misery to Canada? Is that what you want? Syrian law in Canada? You want honor killings of your children? A daughter should get raped? And what do? You kill your daughter? Is this the values of Canada? What are those people?
National liberation.
Do we want female mutilation? They mutilate female genitals.
All right. So I'm gonna close this off very soon. I'm just gonna give you a recap now of everything I saw there because I've already been kicked out of there twice, and I've seen everything I need to see. Oh, I see another Hezbollah flag flying. That's nice. So here's a recap of what's happened at this Al-Quds Day. It does not have a permit. There are hundreds of police officers here. They have the right to assemble. They have the right to say what they want. They have the right to hold their terrorist signs. They have the right to hold their anti-Semitic cartoons. Okay, it's a free country. Freedom of speech. I'm for it. Right? But what I have seen, they do not have the permit to set up a stage. They do not have a permit for all these speeches. This should technically be a breach of peace. Why is it not being enforced? It's because politicians and police are cowards. Right? They know that organizations tied to the Muslim Brotherhood will call them Islamophobic if they enforce the law here. So fears of Islamophobia are shutting down the rule of law in Canada. Two, another thing I see, the signs you see. One, I see a sign that says liberate the Al-Aqsa Mosque. As we talked about, the Al-Aqsa Mosque is currently under the control of the Islamic Wafik of Jordan. It has been liberated. It's one of the contentious things. As a symbol of peace after the 6 Days War, the Jews, the Israelis, gave the Al-Aqsa Mosque to the Islamic control to avoid any of this. But this lie has been used. The #1 terrorist brigade in Gaza is called the Al-Aqsa Brigade to liberate the Al-Aqsa Mosque. It's a terrorist brigade. The riots in 1929 in Hebron were started when the Grand Mufti, Hajj Amin al-Husseini, personal friend of Hitler, talked about the Jews wanted to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. This has caused hundreds of deaths in the past. In here, you can see flags of the Islamic Republic of Iran, which has a pro-terrorism charter. In their foreign policy, they openly say terrorism is part of their policy. You see the flags of Venezuela, another peace-loving democracy, or a communist hellhole, depending on your view on reality. You see flags of Lebanon, right? Where Hezbollah is in the government, another terrorist proxy. The leader of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, has said that he wants all Jews to move to Israel so he doesn't have to hunt them all down individually. This is the people they support. You see signs that Zionism is racism. Again, that's going to be used against you Canadians. That's going to be the nationalism of racism. I see a child. I see a 7-year-old child right over there. I'm not going to show you him. Holding a sign basically saying the IDF is ISIS. Right? That's brainwashing. Right? You have terrorist propaganda going on. And the first time I was kicked out is just because someone recognized me for making a fool of them at their last event. And then I was actually physically removed by a CUPE operative. the Canadian unions, the largest union in Canada, CUP, or one of the largest unions in Canada, if you're part of it, your dues are paying for this terrorist nonsense. And I was physically removed by a CUP operative here who is part of this illegal protest. And again, the other thing you're seeing is you're seeing hundreds of people being bussed in to this event. Who's paying for this? The Islamic Republic of Iran. Iran is openly talked to. This Al-Quds was founded by the Ayatollah Khomeini. So you have hundreds of people being bussed in from the GTA, right? They're coming from places like Thorncliffe Park, the Thorncliffe Mosque. That is where the Danforth shooter went. The Thorncliffe Park has openly called for Sharia, has openly called for jihad against the West, Jews and Christians. These are the people being bussed in. So later today, I might do another live with a full recap of what I saw. But for now, thank you everyone for coming out. Thanks everyone for your well wishes. If you like the video, please like the video. Please like the page, follow the page, share it with your friends, so I could do more of this. And just as I say, like, there's one side here that supports Canadian values, and there's one that doesn't. So I'm going to show you again. You can see there are flags for Palestine, there are flags for Lebanon, there are flags for the Islamic Republic of Iran, there are flags for Venezuela. Where are the Canadian flags? Where are the Canadian flags? Where are the Canadian flags? There are more Venezuelan flags in that rally than Canadian flags.
When you guys
I see a Lebanon flag and two Islamic Republic of Iran flags. Where are the Canadian flags? Another free of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which we talked about isn't even occupied. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, we do the news every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. So come watch before the Raptor game. And maybe later tonight, I'll do a recap of events after I talk to some people on the other side. So thanks everyone for watching. Please like the page, follow the page, and you be you. Thanks for coming.